This is Kimberly Reuter, supply chain expert and business advisor. And thank you for joining my podcast, The Morning Mood. This is our
Yeah.
first monthly deep dive into the 3PL and warehousing world with Bryan, world famous expert in all things logistic and warehousing. And Bryan is going to be our expert and talk us through what do we need to know about picking a 3PL? What are the things to look for?
Real quick, can we do comedy first?
Okay, yeah. You're good.
I can't help myself. So you said
Oh
when you
no,
said
here we
deep
go.
dive. No, this will be clean.
All
So
right.
there's a funny Norm Macdonald skit where he talks about Byron Allen. Have you ever
Yeah.
watched Normie?
Yeah.
But he had this show called Comics Unleashed,
Yes.
and Norm was like, you couldn't be any more leashed. So so it's fun when I hear sometimes when I hear like acronyms, especially in corporate, like like
Deep
when you
dive.
hear deep dive, it's like tiptoeing into the shallow end is what it is.
I know. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you
It's
know what I
bad.
mean?
I
So we
agree.
have to come up with a name because
We have to come up with something.
I don't want to be on like some Gen Z's like TikTok getting made fun of because your podcast is named Deep Dive.
Deep dive.
Yeah.
Okay. We've bounced names around. We need to come up with
Oh,
one. We
okay.
talked
Yeah.
about
All right.
I like your box.
Yes.
Um.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still a marketing guy. I just have to think about these things. I think
Yeah.
yeah, it's like usually the
We
opposite of like the ministry of truth is
right.
usually
Oh
like
no. It's got to be
is
something.
the
Yeah.
ministry of lies and deceit.
We will come up with a proper name for our warehousing
Okay.
3PL podcast. Something mildly
Anyway,
inappropriate, I think, is where we'll probably land. I
probably.
did mention you in a previous podcast, and I was talking about warehousing. I was talking about outbound, and that wasn't really my area of expertise,
Yep.
and that I was going to have you as a guest because this is your area of expertise, so that you could fill my gap.
I love
And
filling
then I
gaps.
was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So
I was like,
okay,
that's weird.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what are we doing? So we're gonna talk about three things.
3 things to look out for a 3PL. So you've
Yes.
been in this space for a long time.
Yeah.
You have worked with a variety of
I
3PL
have.
providers
Yes.
specializing in e-commerce. You worked with
Yeah.
Dr. Squatch. You worked with a lot of really
Kulani Keenies is my new account. Shout out to Kulani, who is like the coolest freaking brand in the universe right now. They sell women's bikinis.
love it.
Yeah, we just put them. Barrett just put them into Dallas, and their whole team is freaking amazing. So shout out to
That
Kulani if
that's
you're listening.
excellent.
Yeah.
And if you're in
So
the bikini market,
if you're
place to
yeah,
go.
they sell dental floss.
I would love it.
Yeah,
So
they're just cool. They're just so much cooler than me.
honest.
But yeah, so I mean, I've been in the space for a while, and yeah, D2C e-com, omni-channel, and some Fortune 100, 500 greenfield sites dedicated, all the good stuff.
Yeah, excellent.
The themes are the same though. The
Yes.
the themes are always the same. It's the same in sales where, you can always lose deals in the first 60 seconds, but they're never won. Doesn't matter how big,
Oh, right.
it
It's
doesn't matter
true.
how big you are. You're either, fighting negative emotion for the next 6 months or just
Right.
confirming what someone already thinks about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about a number of things, but okay. So focusing on three things that either common misconceptions or I don't know, mistakes, I guess. But obviously, the number one thing tends to be when something's only price driven. It's really
Oh,
hard to have discussions around long term longevity, if you will.
yeah.
Um, but I also understand right now it's there's so much uncertainty with
Yes.
tariffs and unknowns. Um, oh gosh, I had a call interesting conversation a week or so ago about a company was looking for new 3PL. They're already leaving their provider, and the service is great, and they rarely talk to the point where it's like they're that good. And I just thought to myself, that's kind of the Holy Grail sometimes. Why
Right.
are you leaving?
Yeah, I'm
Right?
confused. I'm like, that
Yeah.
sounds pretty
So
perfect to me.
I know, right? Does that sound good to you? So, I mean, what aside from price, what about you? What's a pain point that you see that you question?
Price where people focus that I'm like, yeah, is it a real pain point? Price is one of them. I think another place that people miss opportunity is in that longevity and building for scale.
Yeah.
So they go in with like, I think the first time I always ask clients when I'm working with them on this type of project, which is how you and I got to know each other, is where do you expect to be in 6 months, a year, 18
Oh,
months,
yeah.
24 months? Yeah. Like, because so many people jump into a 3PL situation, they hit hyper growth, which is the goal,
Yeah.
and they're with a partner who can't support them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. It's easy to check the box and plan for now.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
telling you the same things for the most part.
Yeah.
It's,
They really are.
they should be, right? If they're doing
Yeah.
their job right. I am big on gut feeling,
Yeah.
and people relate. You know what you can't change? The
Yeah.
personalities.
Oh, no, totally.
I'm gonna
So
talk
what
about that.
so why was this client leaving? So they have the perfect situation,
Well, no, this
right?
is one of many
Yeah.
situations without getting too
Okay.
specific.
Yeah.
You know, the grass is always greener, like, maybe they are getting ripped off, that tends it
That's one of
it's a
them.
gap, though, so whatever the reason for a company switching or looking elsewhere, it's like a new looking for a new girlfriend. There's something missing in your current relationship. I don't whether
Yeah.
yeah, whether it's price or service or whatever, like,
Whatever
clearly
it
something's
is.
missing, which is, we
Yeah.
talked about, okay, there's clearly a gap in client relationship building, right?
Yeah.
If you're nurturing your relationship and working at it, you shouldn't be always wanting to know what else is out there. And
Right.
so that's led us into other conversations, I think, that are tangential, if you will. Is that a word?
Yeah.
That are, you know, having a people relationship with your customer, and knowing how they feel is very important in our space.
Yeah.
I
I would agree.
was on a call earlier with the COO of a large 3PL, a friend of mine, and I was just picking his brain a little bit and just catching up, and I kind of gave him props as I said, a lot of the things that he did back then, they make sense to me now on the client
Mhm.
building standpoint.
Yeah.
Being vulnerability leads to trust, and,
Yes.
and trust leads to all good things. And
Yeah.
and I've
Long-term
have you
relationships.
seen maybe you can talk about that. You've seen a lot, like, you're a vulnerable person, you let me put it this way, I feel like you are willing to let people get to know you, like me. We've probably been hurt before
Oh, yeah.
by being honest and being yourself,
Yeah.
but do your best relationships all come from some vulnerability and getting to know someone, right?
Totally. Yeah, my best relationships have come from, yeah, being vulnerable with someone. I have a good long-term relationships
Yeah.
with them. Like, I have a small circle like a lot of people,
Small
but
circle, yeah.
yeah, small circle. But yeah, but being vulnerable and building that long-term relationship, they transactional relationships don't work.
Right,
Period. In
right.
anything.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That should be the title. Transactional relationships don't work.
Yeah.
You're
And
chasing
that
the
and I
yeah,
Yeah, and in the 3PL world, I think that's a really great example
yes,
of where you see a lot of people out there,
sure.
if we talk about the 3 things is they're focused on price, so that becomes a transactional
Well,
relationship.
you get that in return too then.
Yeah, exactly.
"Hey, we're
Exactly.
barely making money, we're losing money on you, like, I don't care about you. You're a number as well."
Yes.
It's very
Yeah,
easy in the Zoom world, to do all this and then kinda look back, like, "What went wrong?" Well, I mean, shit, like, you guys barely know each
yeah,
other, you don't know anything about each other, you're just
r
you're
yeah,
you're a replaceable widget,
yeah, it's
and,
transactional.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I kinda
and
try to overcome that a little bit over the top, regardless of what people say they want, you know what they really need,
yes,
and you kind of just ignore some of that and present yourself in the best light possible,
yeah,
and so I think one of the green flags to look for is to ask yourself, do you see the company, the 3PL company that you're talking with, would you hire them to work at your company?
excellent
Do
point.
you could they because they are, like, we say, like, we become an extension of your brand and company. Is our culture similar to yours? You know,
Excellent point.
right?
Excellent
Yeah.
point.
Thanks.
Yes. There is a big element of that
Yeah.
because, I talk about outbound and e-commerce in that fulfillment and delivery is the only physical experience someone has with your
Yeah.
website, right?
Right.
So understanding their brand,
And their culture, their work
understanding their
culture.
ethics, their culture. their customer,
Yeah.
how they interface with their customer, how they want their customer to feel.
Yeah, like some
Boom.
some brands don't take PTO. They're early
Right.
stage, right? Probably don't wanna partner with a 3PL that takes PTO sometimes.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe it's good to be with a
Um,
scrappy single building regional that will drive over at 9 o'clock at night and drag 4 people you know what I mean? Like, there's different levels.
there's different levels, and there's just different levels of quality,
Yeah,
there's different culture. A lot of fulfillment can be high end. Amazon has really perfected the low end fulfillment, right? The how many can you fulfill in a
right. But
second?
by the way,
Right.
they're also not super cheap.
They're not super cheap.
Amazon's
Well,
not.
they're cheap for themselves, but no, if you're
Oh,
doing FBA, no, but
cheap's
yeah.
a funny word.
Cheap, cheap,
I used to
it's
use cheap
relative.
as a negative connotation selling tires. I was said, "You want the cheapest tire?" Nobody really wants the cheapest tire. They want
No,
the
they
least
don't.
expensive.
Yeah.
So, sales guy
That's the
tactic, yeah.
marketing. But yeah,
Words
so
matter, right?
the
Yeah,
words matter, right?
yeah.
So, when you make a really great point and you work with a lot of high-end brands. So you work with
We
brands
do.
who care about how their customer feels, they care about how their brand is reflected with their carriers and
Yeah.
with their fulfillment. And I think there's something definitely there.
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, value can be perception a little bit. I don't know, why do people have an iPhone instead of an Android? It's
Yeah.
$1,000 more. I mean,
Yeah.
what is it functionally doing anything, or does it, you know?
Right.
It says a lot about somebody
It does.
when I get your green text, Kim, you know? It just does. It says you don't care. It says I don't care either. I had an Android forever 'cause, and, I loved the, what was Google's phone? The Pixel? I loved the Pixel for a long
Pixel
time,
phone.
and then my little
Yeah.
sister was like, "You can't be dating with that."
Oh.
That was it was a joke, but, like, it's true. It's perception is weird, and
Perception is everything.
it
Yeah.
is, and, price is always important. We always say that you want in our space, you should be in the ballpark.
Agreed.
If you're not in the ballpark, it can kinda come across like, what do you do? Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, you can't be way out there.
No,
Like, agreed.
but,
For sure.
beyond, like, I just am so big on the people. So I'm very big on early on, like, as quick as you can, meet the operators, by the way.
Okay, excellent.
Meet
Not
the
a lot of
operator.
people see that.
No, I'm like I had a call this morning and I had my GM and an RVP on the call because they've been talking with me for 4 months. Like,
Right.
yes, do I think I know a lot about certain things? Sure, but at the end of the day, I'm, VP of sales and marketing, and people don't know my background, right? Like, yeah, Brian, you're just freaking sales guy. Let's introduce you to to the person that runs your
To
building,
actual professionals.
who lives in Dallas, who, when you have a crisis, will be
Yes,
there.
he's gonna be on the phone for you.
Sure.
Alright, so we've got 2,
Okay.
green flags. Price or not being price driven, right, is one of them.
Not being having it be the focus of your decision.
Not being the focus. Culture fit and having a company that wants to
I
understand
would
your
say, like,
culture.
culture is like moving and thinking and acting like you.
Yeah. Yeah, and they want to. They wanna understand
Yes.
your culture,
Or
they wanna
yeah.
understand what your goals are.
Guess
I
what,
think that's
though?
the other thing too, in my experience, so many 3PLs I have talked to when I'm bringing in clients are like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, we got space."
Yeah, right,
I'm
sure.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay, let's back up the pony a little bit here. Like how much, like, and hey, and here are our goals. Here's when we think we need to bifurcate inventory. Here's when we think we need to leverage a
Well,
network.
that's what you're paying
Can you
for.
help us?" Yeah,
You're paying what else? You're paying you should be getting advice. I
right.
always say this, you're paying us to know things that you don't know about supply
I
chain.
Yes.
If you knew everything, you could just do it yourself.
You're just doing it yourself in the garage.
And by the way, I've given out that advice before. I said, "Look, you guys, like, I think have you considered self-fulfilling?
Yeah.
Your brand is not it's like where you're at in your supply chain is pretty it's not complicated. You could do this."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Well, we don't wanna." Okay, that's fine. You don't wanna do it yourself, that's fine too.
Right.
But I think a good thing to look for is, this is great too. I've heard this in finance, in asset management before, but somebody said, one of the best things you can do on the sales side for 3PL is to give out advice that's contrary to your own benefit.
Yeah.
That's a great way to build trust because
It is.
it's honest and this is a big business, this big space. Um, there's a lot of different directions you can go. And I think Barrett I've seen Barrett do this a ton, if I can tout my own
Mhm,
company. We have
mhm.
people that ultimately they'll give out advice. Loves this one. They'll give out advice that's contrary to the benefit of us sometimes,
Yeah.
because that I think that in the long term, being honest like that will pay dividends.
Totally, and in my own business, I've done that in my consulting business.
Yeah.
I have turned more business down than probably I've taken, or referred it out and been like,
"100%."
I'm not the right person for you."
Or Kim, have you ever
Um
used the line where it's like, "Look, even if you don't choose me, like, you should do this."
Yeah. Oh, I've
Yeah.
actually been like, "Hey, I'm not the right fit," or they've been like, "Hey, we don't think you're the right fit." I'm like, "You know what? You should talk to so and so, or let me
Yeah.
hook you up with blah blah blah." I've even directly hooked them up with you before. Where I've been like, "Hey, you don't
Yeah.
actually need me to run an RFP for you. Just go talk to
And that's the by the way,
Brian."
that's the exact opposite of most, like, like, in the consulting world, it's like, the
Oh,
best
they're
is
like,
when it's a
"No."
six-month process that
Oh,
results in no decision and staying the
no
same.
decision.
That's
That's
what
an easy 50 grand right there. Let me tell you, 40, 50 right off the top. Consulting
oh
companies do it
gosh.
non
I
effing
know.
stop. I hate it. I refuse to do it.
The
I won't
Twitter
do
me
it.
or the X, the meme that's like, "Increase revenue and decrease costs." Like, that's
Yeah.
the
It's like, I
I
won't do
know.
it. I just like, I won't, and in the RFPs that I have done for clients, it's been a part of a bigger process, like a bigger
Yeah,
strategy.
sure.
And even when I do that, I won't talk to more than 6 3PLs. I'm like, if we have to talk to more than 6 3PLs, my
You're not
preference
doing
is
your
for
job right. Yeah.
I'm not doing my job. Like,
Right.
my job, I'm supposed to be
You
plugged
should you're
in
the
to
one because
direct
I'm
you.
hiring you, you're bringing, like, 5 great ones already.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for.
That's what you're paying for. If you
Right.
wanna talk to 72 different 3PLs, go hire freaking McKinsey or Deloitte or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever, or
right.
whoever,
Drag
whatever,
it out,
who's
run
gonna put
along.
their 17 grad students on it and,
And number crunch, yep,
$150,000 later. Yeah, yeah. You'll have a big list of 3PLs. Congratulations.
100%. Alright, so wait, so
But
you
yeah.
said price focus, good and bad,
Yep.
culture focus, good and bad, and then obviously I mentioned people as a third. Um,
Yeah.
I make make gut opinion, like, form I mean, we do this by we don't even mean to, but we do it.
We do.
We form reactions around first impressions and the people that we meet. Those are valid,
They
and
are.
validate them by meeting people
Yeah.
and getting to know someone and asking them some questions, things that I do on the sales side regardless with because we look for customers that are a fit for Barrett as well.
Yeah.
Um,
You're not taking everybody who's coming through the door.
we're
Nope.
not, and I know usually right away behind the scenes where I'm like with Kulani, I'm like, "This is gonna be a great customer."
Yeah.
Like, they're a perfect fit for they're just young and smart and super kind
Fast
and they say
moving and
thank you, and the things that
yes.
we don't need that because we're a thankless ops is thankless world, but owners are, "Thank you guys have been great. Thank you so much." And we have our PM is, like,
Awesome.
taking photos of their stores, and I mean, we're just very similar cultural vibes, so I think that, that plays itself out through meeting the people during the process and picturing yourself working together, and say, "Do I wanna work with these people for the next number of years?" And if you
3
were
to 5 years, like,
Yeah,
you should not that's the other thing I counsel people, you should not be popping from 3PL to 3PL. If you're jumping around every 2 years on 3PLs, you either are picking the wrong ones or you're focused on the wrong things.
yeah, you gotta be
Um,
dateable.
yeah, but you need to stay, but with a 3PL, when I advise, I expect somebody to be with that 3PL for about 3 to 5 years, and
At
that's
least.
normally when they'll hit some sort of, like, growth
Yeah,
milestone,
or
and they
that
may
yeah, you
make a
need I
change.
mean, redoing contracts is normal. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's mostly either because you grew or you shrank. People never
Yeah,
think
you
about the
shrank.
opposite, I've had like, "Hey, can we want tiered rates." I'm like, "Well, that's fine. What happens if you guys shrink?
Yep.
Do you pay more now? We don't wanna do that to you." You know what I
This is
mean? So,
true.
it's these are things that we educate. This is what I'm paid to do. This is why we have sales. This is why we have experts on our side is we wanna paint a picture that's honest and fair and let
Yeah.
people decide. But I really just think that, like, at the end of the day, eh, you're gonna be working with us for the next number of years. Do you like working with me?
Yeah.
If
I'm
you
gonna touch every single one of your packages. I'm going to interface with every single one of your customers. Do you
Right.
feel comfortable doing that? I mean, to your point, like, that's the
You
major
trust?
question.
Yeah, do you trust us? Do you
Do you think that we're a good fit? Do you think that we're gonna do right by your customer? And I
Yes.
think that's a really valid question that not a lot of people
No,
ask
and look, Kim, when
because
you if
they're
you're if even like a 50, 120 or 100 to $200 million company, you might be talking like the variance on a proposal might be 100K, 200K. I mean, talk
right.
it's a lot of money to me. Like I would love 100,000, right? But it's not. If it's 0.01% of your sales, like these are things that you don't want to be playing
Look,
roulette with.
you can blow through 100,000 with a fulfillment mistake in a hot fucking minute, and you know it.
That's the
Oh,
title
yeah.
right there.
Right. Well, if you're looking at a 3PL contract that big and you're arguing over $100,000,
That's their title. That's our working title for our monthly get together is how to F it up in a hot minute by Kim and
well,
Bryan.
I think that's our title. Like, how to fuck up 3PLs in a hot minute.
I
But
love it.
it will, and you're so right because people get so transaction focused,
I've
and
been there too.
yeah, yeah,
Early on in my life. I think we talked about that. Yeah,
yeah, we
I've been on
did.
that side of it.
I have to focus
Sometimes,
on
by
the
the way,
trend.
sometimes you have to be on that side of it, even if you don't want to be. I've been like, yeah.
We've all been there. We've all had to
When you
make
have
it, but
when you have a dollar in your pocket, you're looking for that 89-cent cheeseburger.
we have all been there. It's really interesting because almost everybody that I've had on a guest, this is some sort of like weird woo spiritual shit. Almost all of us have this sort of, we've come from this sort of scrappy background
Yeah.
where we had to at some point bootstrap.
I don't know many people that haven't. Oh gosh. I don't know. I think maybe what's uncommon is we talk about it, but
Maybe that's what it is.
I think a lot of people hide their struggles and don't want to either don't want to talk about them or pretend like they never happened. I'll never
So
forget.
interesting.
So,
Yeah.
I think you're willing to talk about things and more than likely because of your personality and mine, like you have friends in your life who are similar.
Yeah.
Right?
And supportive of it, I think is the other thing too. Like there's no
I
judgment.
think it's the best part about you. So
Thank
there's
you.
a friend, a funny there's a guy I follow on LinkedIn, Jay Schwedelson. He's like the best marketer ever. And I made it. He was giving out marketing advice, but it was really like life advice. And I just made a comment about your friends, like knowing a sign of a good friend is not knowing anything about them that's performative, meaning like what they do or like what they do for a living. It's like
Yes.
I don't really know anything about you performatively. I do, but I don't. I know more
Yeah,
about
like career-wise,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, you know that, but yeah, that is totally true. Like, you don't know anything about, like that is actually really interesting.
right.
And that
It's
our
interesting.
dogs are barking at each other. That's hysterical.
T-Man, what we just put Titus on the podcast. He's a show.
He is a show. He is an absolute dream. I miss him. Well,
I
he
mean,
looks just like Rocky, my old Great Dane,
I know.
so
I feel, and I know Rocky's a tough one to talk about.
I know he was with me through a lot of tough times.
The
But we got Fannie Mae now, so but we will have to have a dog podcast, I think.
absolutely.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
well, that is us for our first monthly, whatever the fuck this is, on 3PL.
I love it. I love
We
it.
will come up with a title and tune back in, and thank you for
As
being
always.
here.
Thank you, Kim.
All right, chat soon.
Yeah, bye.